Just a few years ago, it seemed like you were getting nothing but great orders when it came to delivering. So I would get, especially at the height of the pandemic, it was nothing for me to make $30 or even $50 an hour, sometimes even more. And the requests just kept on coming in and in. It was great. But now it seems like we're getting nothing but $2 or $3 orders that don't make it even worth it to turn your car on. And is that what we should expect as drivers? Is that the new normal? Let's jump in.
All right, before we get into today's video, just want to say special thanks to Para and the Gig Driver Forum, where it is the one and only community chat forum for multi-apping, is the talk of the town. Multi-appers and drivers of high-paying niches are discovering all things gig delivery. Talk about DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber, Uber Eats, Instacart, Spark, Lyft, Courier, medical delivery, and everything gig. While you're on the Par app, if you haven't tried Parworks yet, make sure you do so. Their catering delivery gigs pay up to $50 an hour. Check the link in the description below. Now let's get back to today's video.
Hi, I'm Tyler from the RideShare Guy. On today's episode, we're taking a look at the reasons why we're getting and seeing a lot more of these lowball offers that we're getting from all apps, whether it's Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, or anything else, and what we can do to make sure that we're still making at least enough money to pay our bills. So first, why are we seeing these orders? Well, in reality, especially when it comes to delivery, the orders were always kind of this low. So delivery has never been one of those things that you make a lot of money off of the actual delivery itself. In fact, you really make almost nothing, and I kind of think of it as nothing from the actual gig app itself. They are charging whatever fees they're charging, their delivery fee, but they're only giving you $2, sometimes less if it's a double. I've noticed that you'll actually get that for a delivery fee less than $2, sometimes even $1. Or one time I got 96 cents for a delivery because that was the delivery fee. That's how much they charge. But you make your real money when it comes to delivery through tips. So 2 years ago, the height of the pandemic, people were tipping a lot more. So that's why the orders were a lot higher. Now people are tipping less. Why are people tipping less? Well, for a number of reasons. Number one, because things are more expensive today. So people, they still have to eat. They're still hungry, but they are going to tip less because they have less money, or there's a lot less appreciation. When it was the pandemic or even years ago, this was a novelty. It was new. People appreciated it more, but now it's an everyday thing. So what happens to everyday things? They just become in the background. They become something that is expected. And so they expect you to do this delivery. Another reason that you're seeing less is because people will at times say that they're going to increase the tip if the driver does a good job. If the food is hot when I get it, or if the food is delivered on time, I'm going to give them a good tip. That's not always the case, but that does happen. And so you'll see those lower tips. I've run quite a few of the lower paying ones, and percentage wise, it doesn't equal out to enough that raise the tip based off of that for me to think that it's going to be worth it to accept those lowball offers. So I do notice that I get more tips on the ones I accept that I already think are worth it, and I appreciate that. But unless I know I'm making that money ahead of time, it's not going to be worth it 99% of the time in my experience. Another reason that we are seeing less tip as drivers is because of what's now becoming the tip economy. You go basically anywhere now and they're asking for tips. You're getting tips every single place you go, even if people aren't getting paid tipped wages. So think of people like waitresses at a restaurant. They get lower pay because they're getting tipped wages. And so it's expected that they get the majority of their income through their tips. The same is true of gig workers because, and even more so, we don't get an hourly wage. All we get is what we get from the delivery and the tip. So it has to be worth it in order to do that. But now other places are also asking and almost making you feel bad about tipping. They have that tablet, they turn it around, and it's for everything, it seems. I walk into any store and there's a tip. You go to a coffee shop and they want a tip. You go to a store that sells cookies. They want a tip. Everybody is trying to get a tip. And so unfortunately, gig workers have, for a lot of people, fallen into that same category as people that are getting paid, and they feel like I don't have to tip them because they're making enough money elsewhere and they're just being greedy and trying to get more money. I know this for a fact because I have a lot of friends and family that are surprised that we don't make money doing delivery other than the tips. I have explained to them, I don't know how many times, that tips are really how we make our money and that we're able to make a decent amount of money because some people still tip well. But the majority of people, including people that are familiar with people that do this delivery app or any of the delivery apps, don't know that we don't get an hourly wage. They don't know that we're not making money unless it comes from that delivery. So what can you do to increase your pay when you're getting nothing but these really lowball $2 offers? Well, number one, try to drive for a new gig. So reach out and see if there's something else, another app that's out there in your area that is new or is just making more money. So in my area, that meant Deliver That. I've been able to increase and start my day off with a lot more money at the beginning of my day, which means more money at the end of the day as well. So that's another app that you could do. You could sign up for an app like Quick or Wonolo or any of those apps that give you a one-time job. And that way you're not driving your car. It's almost like a real job where you go in and you work for the day, but you get paid out like it's a gig work. So you could sign up for things like that. You could also sign up for something like ParaWorks that's going to give you some additional ways to make money. So finding a new app, something that is maybe new to your area, that just started in your area or has been around for a while and not a lot of people are using it. Or even if it's something that you have to get on a wait list, get on a wait list now so that when the time comes, you'll be able and ready to start driving. That's what I did with Grubhub. It took me over a year to become a Grubhub driver, but as soon as I did, I've been able to get out there and make money with it. The second thing you can do is multi-app. So if you're signed up for multiple different apps, you should be driving for all of those apps at the same time. So you turn them all on, you wait for which request comes in that's worth it at that time, and then you're able to accept that. And if you pay close attention to it, and it can get a little dicey and a little tricky, sometimes you can actually pick up from multiple apps at the same time if they're going from the same restaurant to the general same area, or vice versa, trying to get it so that you are not really taking from the delivery time of one and to get to the other. So make sure that you're doing that. We've got some great videos on how to multi-app properly. Definitely check them out. That'll really help you. But you need to be multi-apping, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be the same type of app. So you have delivery apps where you're delivering food. You have catering apps where you deliver catering. You could have grocery apps. You could have deliver prescriptions. You could deliver anything. You could also do passengers at the same time. Whatever it is, whatever gigs you've signed up for, make sure you're using all of them so you can make as much money as possible. And finally, one of my favorite ways is to start something else, some other type of side hustle or a business. So that could be a blog, that could be a YouTube channel, that could be freelancing, or one of the other many things that we've talked about on the RideShare Guy as your plan B or something else to get out of rideshare driving. So I myself am a freelancer. I do videos, I write articles, I help with social media, I do all of that, and I can do that while I'm waiting for a ride. So I will be able to have my app up and I have my laptop with me, and while I'm waiting for a good request to come in, I'm able to get some work done, or I can do a little bit of work beforehand and start driving and then do work after. Whatever the case is, work on that as well. So you're going to have some downtime because you're getting a lot of really bad requests. So have something that you can do, even if it's just learning about how to do that job or that side hustle or start that business, whether that's listening to a podcast or an audiobook, or whether that's doing some sort of coursework for some program that you sign up for a different, completely different 9-to-5 job. But have something in place that you're working towards that'll help you, that you can use your downtime for, that'll help you make as much money as possible, and maybe even have the ability to get out of the gig work and into something else. So there you have it. Unfortunately, the $2 orders are really here to stay. but it's up to us to do all that we can to increase our amount of money, whether that's multi-apping, finding a new business, starting a whole new app and using that, or whatever else it is. So you need to get out there and make as much money as possible with any of these techniques. What are some of the ways that you have found to get away from these $2 orders? Or are you finding that you're actually getting a lot of tips increase from them? Or what are you doing to negate all of this and make even more money? We'd love to hear about it in the comments below. We read every single one. If you found this video helpful, please give us a thumbs up. It helps the channel out, and subscribe to the channel because new episodes that come out every single week to help you make as much money as possible. And until next time, stay safe out there, everyone.